That's right. 2025. Here we go. What's up, everyone? Hang on. Wait a minute. Hey, one and all. What's cooking? What's happening? Wishing everyone, I'm going to hang on to this, a happy 2025. A warm welcome back to the channel. As opposed to a cold welcome back. It's been pretty chilly out here in Maine the last couple of weeks, down into the low teens. But let's set that aside. Figured I'd, just connect with you guys again. First video of the new year, I suppose. And let's see. I think let's look back a little bit first, unwind the clock, so to speak, and then we'll look a little forward and see what's coming in 2025. Of course, the big event for 2024 was actually, as a matter of fact, where we are filming right now, where we're sitting, where I'm talking to you guys, which is Studio A. Started construction, as a matter of fact, in December of 2023. But because contractors are so hard to get a hold of, good ones anyway, here in Maine, it took forever to find one who's going to commit to it. Actually, the guy that built this house in first place was also the one that we hired to complete Studio A. Or not so much complete, but rather completely build it, I should say. And so these guys were in and out, putting stuff in between jobs, this, that, and the other. It took 4 months to finish a room, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, I think they did I know they did a fabulous job finishing it. The thing that really bugged the hell out of me, well, first of all, I didn't want to go overboard spending too much money on this because this is really all just sort of, I wouldn't call it temporary in a sense that we're going to be leaving here in 6 months, but this is not like permanent, right? So I'd rather save up money for like a really big project that's going to be hopefully coming up at some point in the future than waste it all on, one super duper room here. And so, it's well insulated. I insisted on great insulation. The measurements of the room are 15 by 30 with a sloped ceiling, as you guys saw or see in the videos in the past or coming in the future. The acoustics were horrendous, absolutely disgusting. Fortunately for me, I partnered with the team at Vicoustic. Shout out to Vicoustic. They really are, in my humble opinion, the best in the industry. And partnered with them. We measured out the room with obviously not just the measurements, but also acoustic measurements, etc. Sent them all the files and downloads and whatnot, info on the room. And they then spit that into their computer file program software and came back with, what we needed for acoustics, which I then proceeded to install towards the summer and end of summer. Let's see, what else was going on in 24? Oh, yeah, of course. I guess the rediscovery of the great electronic wizardry of Ed Meitner and his team up in Calgary, Canada. You guys know I made a pretty big splash with their DS Audio optical cartridge and their EQ1, Meitner's or EMMlabs EQ1 a couple of years ago. And that's now actually in version 2. So look for a review of that coming, which is astounding to say the least. I found the perfect solid state gear for me, which is EMMlabs, ironically enough. It combines musicality, power, shove. It's got guts, punch, super wide bandwidth. Fantastic. And again, staying musical. I can't tell you how many solid state amps and preamps have gone through my system in and out over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And they all do something really well, and then something else is missing, and something else is missing, and something else is overwhelming it. And this is really the first time that I found electronics on the solid state side of it that give me all that musicality with the tremendous benefits of obviously a solid state design. So that was cool. I was then invited to come up to Calgary and spend some time at the factory, meet the team, did a video on that. Drop a link below if you guys want to check it out again. Let's see, what else was going on in 24? Oh yeah, of course, all kinds of news in the hi-fi world and high-end audio. One of which, DarTZeel went out of business. Of course, the pundits and punters will tell you that they're not out of business, man. What are you talking about? They're not out of business. They're just reevaluating the market. They're going into different directions. I've been around the block long enough to know what to read and look for when they release press releases, or they publish press releases. You kind of read between the lines. Yeah, I don't think they have a clue what they're going to be doing next. But that was kind of interesting. You know, the Hervé, actually, I had in and out with Hervé in Las Vegas at one of the CESs, I don't know, gosh, years and years, maybe a decade plus ago, when he was still represented by Jonathan Tin, who passed away a couple of years ago. But I remember we went to In-N-Out. Oh, what is this? Oh, burger and French fries, pommes frites. Of course, he's Swiss, but he's on the French-speaking part of Switzerland. And so, anyway, that was a hoot. He complained about the price escalations in high-end audio, and that high-end audio has priced itself out of the market. Shocking revelation coming from a company that has stratospherically priced gear in their arsenal, and only stratospherically priced gear in their arsenal. You know, way back when, 25 years ago, when they first started, their prices were reasonable. I think sort of in the $20,000, $25,000 range, which, again, all things being high-end audio, you know, reasonably priced. And then, of course, you know, like everything else, now their preamps were like 80,000, 100,000, whatever. The one amp they launched with, which is just a basic stereo amp, that I think cost around 25, 30,000 in the beginning, and now it exploded up to 80, 90,000. And then the monoblocks are, you know, whatever, $500 billion. I don't care. And then, of course, famously, a couple of years ago, he launched his first cartridge for $1 million. So, Hervé, yeah, you have priced yourself out of the market, I think. And so I think it's kind of rich for you to call out high-end audio having priced itself out of the marketplace when, you know, I don't know if anyone else has charged $1 million for a cartridge. Still don't know if that was a joke or if that was for real. He claimed it was, you know, going to set the world ablaze, and it includes personal setup and all that stuff. Anyway, whatever. You know, it's irrelevant. They're gone. You know, supposedly they're going to come up with less expensive stuff. I don't know. Good luck. I know he's got a lot of people working there, or he had a lot of people working there. Obviously, I feel bad for them that they lost their jobs, and hopefully have found others. But anyway, that was kind of like the big sort of, holy shit, what just happened? DarTZeel went out of business. Despite the fact that they just announced last year, or not even last year, well, it was obviously last year, but I think at the beginning of last year, a new distributor who again was going to set the world ablaze with setting up DarTZeel systems in HiFi, in lobbies of hotels. Because yes, that's going to sell $100,000 amps and preamps. Anywho, what else happened in 24? LAWFARE. Yes. YouTubers are getting attacked by the very people that run the companies whose products they review. Hilarious. I think the first one was poor Erin. I watch his channel every now and then. He does measurements and stuff for speakers, mostly, I think. He may do ancillary hi-fi gear as well, but I think he's mostly known for like measuring his speakers that he reviews and stuff, and seems like a nice guy. I don't know him personally, but I guess he reviewed a pair of Tekton speakers. Of course, Tekton out of Utah. They're sort of like the in that zoo audio realm of, you know, weird, odd-looking stuff with multi-drivers and, you know, patents up the wazoo, supposedly. And, of course, the truth of it is any idiot can patent anything they want. Patents have lost completely their meaning. But anyway, he's got tons of patents. Good for him. And so apparently Erin measured one of his speakers, and oh my gosh, awful. How dare you post these measurements? They're totally out of line with what reality is supposed to be. And so he threatened to sue him, take the video down. You did the wrong measurement. It turns out that I guess the speakers that he had in for review have some kind of have plugs for like the holes that for the speaker stands actually, or the spikes I should say. And it's just a hole into the cabinet. And I guess not plugging these holes produces different measurements. These spike holes produces different measurements, whatever. I think that's what it was, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can look it up, obviously. And I'll drop a link to his video down below as well, in case you missed it or didn't hear about it. So that happened. Then, of course, the LAWFARE continues. DCS steps right into it. So DCS, Data Conversion Systems of the United Kingdom, that doesn't seem much united these days, they were going to sue a reviewer into oblivion, claiming millions of dollars of damages to the reputation and sales of DCS. And all the guy said was basically his opinion on, I think it was the Bartok DAC that he was reviewing, some poor schlub, and he felt the full brute force of John Giolis, the great, who was the U.S. Director of Sales for DCS, and of course formerly with Wilson Audio for decades and decades. So I guess DCS UK claimed that they knew nothing of this lawsuit, nothing at all. They didn't even know who John Giolis was. They didn't even know they had representation in the US, apparently. I mean, shocking. Of course, I'm being facetious here, but in case you didn't get that point. So they claimed they didn't know about it, whatever. Oh, we would never do such awful things. They tried to brush it under the carpet. And then I guess, other things went on. I think they all finally settled, as in that nothing went to court or anything. They just said, hey, sorry about that. Oops, we got caught with our panties down. Because, of course, the brouhaha in the YouTube community was all over the place. I could have sworn there was one other. This was a good one. Tom Evans Design. Another United Kingdom genius designer of electronics gear. He threatened to sue poor Mended Mark. So in case you don't know who Mended Mark is, I watch all his videos, not all of them, but I watch most of his videos. They're hilarious. He's a funny guy as hell. He repairs stuff. He's a repair tech. Although, let that not lead away from the fact that I'm pretty sure that Mended Mark, I forgot his last name, probably knows more about designing proper hi-fi gear than most of the designers in high-end audio. Let that sink in for a bit. First of all, you'll take a look at all the equipment he has, measuring equipment, testing equipment, etc., up the wazoo. I mean, clearly the guy knows what he's doing. He can reverse engineer circuits, so he's not some, slum gum John off of YouTube who pretends to know anything about electronics to be able to repair it. He really knows his stuff. So some customer of Tom Evans with a $25,000 phono amp was having issues. I guess it was damaged in transport or something to that effect. And he sent it to Tom Evans, and Tom Evans, the owner and designer of the gear, is like, this is broken beyond repair. No one can fix this. I think it's going to cost, £1 billion British sterling to fix it. And the guy was like, I'm not going to pay that. So he obviously somehow came to Mended Mark and sent it to Mended Mark. Or actually, no, not even the customer. Tom Evans sent the preamp to Mended Mark for repair. He reverse engineered the circuit, opened up the thing, obviously. It looks like a pile of shit inside. The gall of charging $25,000 for that honk of shit. wrapped in plastic, in my humble opinion, is astounding. I mean, any fool who buys that kind of stuff from Tom Evans, sorry, pal, you're on your own, man. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Minute Mark re-engineers the circuit, and or not re-engineers it, figures out what the circuit does, how it works, etc., and fixes it. Right? I mean, it's electronics. It's a phono preamp. It's not rocket science. It's not we're inventing time travel here. And Tom Evans knows how to do it. No one else does. So he fixes it, of course. There was a couple of damaged pieces on the case as well. He fixed that as expertly as well. I mean, the guy is really, really good. Long story short, Tom Evans claims copyright strikes after another with Mendit Mark. You're posting stuff that you're not supposed to. You're showing my circuit that no one's supposed to see. And anyway, that was a whole brouhaha about nothing. In fact, funny enough, an Apple tech that I follow, Louis Rossman, I guess he's also a little bit into audio, or he's got a HiFi, I think. Again, don't know him personally, just from watching his videos. He's a big sort of anti-Apple guy, which of course, me having been, almost 15 years at Apple, and having left Apple since, I love his kicks on Apple and all the stuff that they pull in the shenanigans. But anyway, so he is like, dude, what's up with this? Tom Evans, you're a POS. I'm posting Mark's video on my channel. Go ahead, try to take it down. Anyway, long story short, I think, water over the bridge, whatever. So yeah, LAWFARE against YouTubers. What does it all mean, Basil? I don't know what to say other than idiots, and idiots to the third power, maybe fifth power. Whatever. No comment. High-end audio is so broken, it's not even funny. But anyway, that's going to be fodder for stuff for 2025. What else? Oh, how could I? I'm actually sort of staring at it right down here. Of course, if you guys remember, I did a video a couple of weeks ago, probably, well, more than a couple of weeks ago. I think it was the penultimate video for 2024, announcing my humble opinion record of the year that I hadn't actually had at that point. I just heard about it, read about it, and of course, figured, hey man, I think this is really, really cool. No one's ever done something like this before. I shouldn't say that, but to make a point. And of course, what is it? It's the birth of the blue. Miles Davis. It's the quintet that brought you kind of blue. And Cobb is on here, Coltrane, Bill Evans, Adderley, Davis, of course. And it's 4 tracks that were essentially recorded about a year before Kind of Blue was recorded at Columbia Street Studios in New York. And they had been issued and reissued as part of like B material, B stock, in various compilations and CDs and stuff. I think the 50th anniversary of Kind of Blue had that on one of the DVDs, if I remember correctly. Mosaic did one with, the Miles Davis box set, and that had all these 4 tracks. But it was always all over the place. Sonically, I don't think they spent any kind of time or money really amping up those 4 tracks. But leave it up to Chad Kassem, my BFF, to actually create an album out of it and wrap it into the persona of Kind of Blue. And again, I think they did a really bang-up job. This was done by Mark Luthans from the 3-track Masters, first-gen copy of the 3-track Masters for these 4 tracks. And it's just 4 tracks. Came on blue and black vinyl. Of course, I have the blue version of it, which is long sold out. But you can get the black one. highly recommend you get it. It's really, really cool. Sounds fantastic. Is it kind of blue? No, of course it's not kind of blue. In fact, my opinion, Stella by Starlight is probably, to me, the cut that closest resembles that sound of kind of blue that we all love. And yeah, no, I mean, Chad, if anyone could do this, create an album that never existed before with 4 tracks that were sort of B material everywhere else and wrap it into the kind of blue theme, I don't know who else could have done it. So well done. Yeah, sounds fantastic. And all that. So there you have it. That's 2024. So what are we going to look forward to in 2025, kids? Good question. I think, obviously, there's going to be more product reviews and product features coming out. I alluded to the version 2 of the DSEQ1 from EMMlabs. I also have the DA2i DAC here, which is the latest DAC from EMMlabs. And I upgraded my MA3 that I had for, 3 years now, 4 years, I think almost, 3 years, to the DA2i. And yeah, good stuff, really good stuff. We are going to have, I've got the Mola Mola preamp here, the Lupe, which is fantastic, solid state phono preamp. That's going to be coming soon. We've got the big Kuzma coming with the SAT arm and the Kuzma arm, of course, and the fancy Lyra cartridge, the Lambda Atlas, and then, of course, the DS Audio cartridges, this, that, and the other. So that's going to be really cool. I'm going to be doing a lot of the shootouts. As you can see here, I've got my mobile recording studio set up with my trusty old Tascam DA1000 recorder that I generally rip everything to 2496 to. In fact, I am going to be announcing right now, right here, a new feature on future videos where I'm going to be posting needle drops. So we're going to be referencing the black backgrounds of vinyl. How black are they? Are they an abyss black? Are they blacker than black? Are they opacally black? Are they black at all? And so we're gonna look into that. And today, right now, second part of the announcement is I am dropping in the links below. Let's see how this works. Let's look at it as a beta test. So I ripped 3 files in preparation for some of the future videos that I was alluding to earlier of 3 different tone arm and arm combinations. I ripped 3 files, 2496. It's Flamenco sketches from Kind of Blue, no pun intended. The 45 RPM UHQR that came out a couple of years ago. Level matched, 100% level matched. The only difference that you're hearing is the different arm combo, cartridge combo, preamp, or phono preamp, I should say, and that's it. The cut's the same. And, drop a comment below and let me know what you are hearing or not. If you think they're all the same, they're not. Post, there's 3 files, so it's 1, 2, 3. Post which one you think is best. Take it, plug it into your favorite software, music production software. Take a look at it. Look at the waveforms. Be a detective if you want or not, or just listen to it. The reason I picked Flamenco sketches is because just about everybody has Kind of Blue at home. And so you can easily compare and contrast it to your own setup, which is why I picked it. And of course, I picked Flamenco sketches and not any of the other tracks because A, I like Flamenco sketches. B, I think it highlights, it's got great compositions to really highlight the differences between arms and cartridges and so on and so forth, in my opinion. So I think it's a great track and it's not been played to death. There you go. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, drop a comment below. Curious to see what you think of it. And I think, oh, forgot. You're seeing me in black and white. I'm sort of experimenting with some different sort of looks and features on the show coming up. Let me know what you think about this black and white thing. Yeah, I think we're gonna be good in 2025. It's gonna be an exciting year. Got lots of cool things planned. Hopefully they'll all pan out. We'll see. Maybe I'll get sued. LAWFARE 2025. Who knows? Danny Kaey gets sued. That'd be funny. Yeah. Hey, as always, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, as you always do. Thanks for hanging out and sticking around. And yeah, wishing you all a very happy new year, lots of success and health. And hey, special shout out, and my heart goes out to all the folks in my former home, my forever home that will always be my home, which is Los Angeles. I really feel for all the people that lost everything. Yeah, I don't even have words. So anyway, closing out on that note, thanks all for watching. Peace, love, and hair grease.